Hello, beautiful creative souls. Welcome back to my channel. This is Shinjini from moderngypsy.in, and this is your tarot reading for May. But this is meant to be a timeless reading. So, whenever you are watching this message is perfect for you. As usual, we will be reading the cards through a lens of creativity, creative living, creative practices. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start by pulling us a card from the Dreaming Way Tarot. And let's see what we have here. So we get the Four of Pentacles, which really is a reminder to focus in and protect our creative time, to really protect our energy, our creativity, the time that we set aside for our creative practice, to to really block that time out for ourselves. And we get the Two of Swords. So again, that just reinforces the message to make the time and the space. So there's boundaries here. There is a theme of really honing in on your own practice. So there are times when we really look around and outside us for inspiration, right? There are times when we are actively maybe seeking to learn new things or a new technique or to take a class. Well, this is not the time for that. This is the time to really hone in on what you already know, to deepen your practice, to deepen your focus, and to implement and experiment on your own. And also to really set good, strong boundaries around your creative time, around your creative practices, to really give yourself the time and the space to explore your creativity, to work on your creative projects, to work on your hobbies, because it's really easy to let the external world in, to push creativity to the back burner or to the last thing on your list, when really it should be front and center in what you are doing. And we're going to pull next from the Muse Tarot for a further dose of creative energy. And we get the Queen of Emotions, which is beautiful. So this is again, I think really goes beautifully with the energy of the Two of Swords. So this is really about going into your own imagination, into your own imaginal realm, and really pulling out your creativity from there, pulling out your creative practices from there, just going deep within your own ideas, your own so as an example, I paint intuitively a lot, right? But there can be times when even I look outside for ideas, for, let's say, patterns, or or any kind of thing like color inspiration, design inspiration. But really, when you're painting intuitively like I do, it's coming from inside you, right? And this is really a reminder to, instead of looking out and looking at what other people are doing, looking at the color palettes they're using, or the materials they're using, or the techniques that they're using, just go within and look at what is really calling to you, what is really speaking to you, and what's coming up for you from your own imagination, from your own interiority, rather than looking outside. And then we've got the Death card, which again is beautiful. So this is like an end of a cycle, right? So if and I think this will go really well, this pairs really well with the Four of Pentacles. So if you've been putting your creativity last, if you've been pushing it off in favor of doing all the other things, which of course are important, right? We can't just create art or just write. We have a life to live. But if you just keep living your life and keep giving into the busyness, into the task list, and that task list can be never ending, right? But this is a time to break that cycle, to really put your creativity front and center, to give it the importance that it deserves in your life, because your creative practices nurture you, they nourish you. And when you are nourished and nurtured, the rest of your life just flows much more beautifully compared to when you feel rushed or when you feel frustrated at not being able to focus on creative time, or when you are frustrated at not being able to give the time and attention that your project deserves. I'm sure you can see the impact that that has on the rest of your life as well, versus the times when you actually make the time for your projects, you prioritize that time, and then just how much more relaxed you are to deal with everything else that you have to deal, because this is life, this is your life. So again, let's pull from my studio deck and see what we get. Oh, inspiration and perspective, and both of them go beautifully with these cards that we've drawn. So let me just pull them back out for you. So inspiration, I think, goes just well with these two, perspective with this one, and really it's about changing your perspective on the importance maybe of your creative practice. Maybe you've been waiting for a perfect time or a perfect moment to begin your project. Don't. Just challenge that thinking. You don't need to go alone in a cabin in the woods to write or paint or create. It happens in the mess of your life. It happens alongside everything else that is a part of your life. The myth of the lonely writer locked away in a cabin, or the lonely artist sequestered in her studio, I know it's a pervasive myth, but it is not a myth that really works for most of us. There's a lot of privilege to a writer who can go in a cabin and write uninterrupted. And that may be the case for some of us, but I'm willing to bet it's not the case for most of us. So really change your perspective, change your thinking, and draw your inspiration from within. And again, perspective is also there, right? Instead of thinking that you need to look outside to learn more techniques, to improve your skills. Yes, there's a time when you do, but you also have a lot of skills. You also have the building blocks probably in place, and just applying yourself to the work will help you to improve. So you don't always need a new course, a new teacher, or a new mentor to help you move up the path or to move forward on your path. Sometimes you just need to look within, draw your own inspiration, set aside the time for creating, and put in the work, put in the hours, put in the practice, right? A large part of art, of creativity, of any sort of creative practice is, well, practice. It's right there in those two words. It's a practice. And from that practice, everything else flows. So yeah, that's your reading for whenever you're watching this. I hope that it resonates with you. Do let me know in the comments, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Keep creating. Bye-bye.